Hey, so I want to go over what we're going to be starting this week, which is characteristics of life. So the first thing you're going to do is there's a link posted below, and it's basically going to be a Google Slides presentation. So once the presentation's open, it should open where it's going to ask you some questions throughout. It's important that you answer those questions. So we're going to click on this link. As long as it says initializing, that means it's working. You're going to tell me how you're feeling. I'm feeling pretty good today. Here we go. Oh, did it work? So it should hopefully start on the first slide. There we go. So it should say characteristics of life, and you're just going to use these buttons off to the left to click through. So I want you to tell me what, think about this. What do you think makes something to be considered living? So you would type your answer off to the right here. So you can tell me, breathing, maybe movement. Oh, if I can spell, so on and so forth. So it's up to you what you want to type, okay? Once you're done typing, you can just leave it and you're going to hit next. Now, as scientists, we want ways of being able to tell if something should be considered truly living or what we consider to be non-living. So kind of like a checklist. Like, let's say we went to a planet and we found a new species. How would we be able to know if it's alive or not? So again, we kind of want a checklist to see how can we tell. So here's some of the new vocab you're going to get. There's two terms that we're going to be using, biotic and abiotic. Biotic is something that is living. Abiotic is what we consider non-living. Now, these get a little bit confusing because what I mean by biotic is basically anything that was alive, could be alive, or is currently alive. So down here, being dead is a state. So let's say we saw a dead squirrel on the road. Sorry, kind of gross, I know. But that squirrel would still be considered biotic because even though it's dead, it had to be alive at one point in order to be dead. Or something that has the potential to be alive. So think of an unborn baby. Even though it's inside of the stomach, it's not out and about moving around. It has the potential to be alive. Abiotic is non-living. It was never alive. It's never going to be alive at any point. So what you're going to be doing, there we go. So now you're going to start thinking about those two words. I want you to keep them in the back of your head. So now that you understand that difference, you're going to be going through a PowerPoint and telling me if you think these different objects are biotic, living, or abiotic, non-living. Don't worry, there's really no, I'm not necessarily grading you on right or wrong answers. I just want to get your thoughts. So here, if you see a rock, you need to tell me if you think it's biotic or abiotic. So you're just going to click one of those options. So let's say you say abiotic. You're just going to click it, leave it, move on to the next slide. And you're going to do this for every single slide. So I'll have about, I think it's like 9 or 10 items that you're going to go through. So once you go through all of the items and you get to the end, please move on to part 2. That's going to be back in Schoology. So when we click back into our Schoology tab, we're going to go back in the Thursday folder. This is part 2, the characteristics of life video notes. I'll have a separate video for how to do that. All right, good luck.